So let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining. If you haven't been on one of these webinars we've done recently, just a quick heads up on the format. We try to keep these really succinct, shooting for about 15 minutes. And just to give folks who want to dig in a little bit deeper on some of these topics a chance to do so without spending their whole afternoon. And the topic we're going to talk about today is weather guarantees and our integration with Sensible Weather. And this is one that I first saw it, I would say, a year or two before we decided to integrate with Sensible Weather. It's really, really cool technology that solves a very important, meaningful problem that I think all of us can understand. Before we jump in, let me pass it off to Tara from Sensible Weather to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon for those on the East Coast. My name's Tara. I'm an account manager at Sensible Weather. Been here for about 4 years. Based in Bend, Oregon. Praying for snow right now on Mount Bachelor. And yeah, I look after our travel and ski partnerships. On this call, we also have Blair. Blair, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Blair Stanton, VP of Marketing at Sensible Weather. I live in Washington, D.C., so I have to drive quite a distance if I want to go skiing, but grew up in New England, so lifelong skier there.
Awesome. And my name is Greg Blanchard. I am in warm and soon-to-be rainy Utah, and I'm also praying for snow, so a lot of the same boat, except for Kim, who is adminning this call, who is skiing powder every day in Stowe, Vermont. So, let me just start with just some background for those of you who are not super familiar on Inntopia. So Inntopia Commerce specifically, this is the side of the integration we're going to talk about today. Inntopia Commerce is a booking engine that is designed to drive advanced reservations. And more specifically, it's a booking engine that's designed to drive advanced reservations for outdoor related activities or resorts. So skiing is the classic that we work with. That's a big part of our business. And as you can imagine with any outdoor related activity, but especially skiing, weather is always going to play a role, especially when you book in advance, right? You are booking months before any sort of forecast knows what is going to happen during your trip. And so there's this sort of uncertainty and risk that is associated with these bookings when someone commits to making this big purchase for their family to go to the beach or to the mountains or wherever. Weather is always kind of in the back of folks' mind as they make those bookings. And so being able to mitigate that risk is something we've always looked for, and that's why Sensible Weather is such a perfect partner. So let me pass this over to you, Tara, to talk kind of through what is a weather guarantee and how your platform works.
Absolutely. Thank you, Greg. So a weather guarantee is an optional add-on that guests can purchase at the time of booking. So it covers, our main product is precipitation. It covers rain, sleet, and snow that happens during your trip or experience. So once a guest adds a weather guarantee, we automatically reimburse them based on the forecast and weather actuals for each day that is affected. A disclaimer that this is not a cancellation insurance product. This product is for people who go on their trip or go skiing that day. We give them back, we just give them money back for inclement weather. So it's a win-win for guests. You still get to go and you get reimbursed. We've been around for a little while now, founded in 2019 and really got going in 2021. We've sold over 1 million weather guarantees and customers are loving it so far. We have over 4.3, I think it's up to 4.4 Trustpilot score, and customers like to buy it again. Can you go next slide, please, Greg? So just to dive into the details here about how the weather guarantee works. As mentioned, we integrate with booking engines, so you'll see the weather guarantee at the time of booking. Each weather guarantee is dynamic based on the dates of travel and the lat-long coordinates of the resort. So the guest is presented in real time with an offer that's unique to their stay, typically costs between 5 and 10% of the trip cost. once they add the guarantee, which again, each one's dynamic to their stay. So if it's a less risky time for precipitation, it might say 1 hour of rain or snow and they'll get their money back. If it's a higher risk, it may say like 3 hours. But once they add it, we monitor the weather for their ski day, or if it's multiple days, each day of their trip. If we see that covered amount of weather in the weather forecast, we send them a text message in the morning saying, hey, it looks like there's gonna be rain or snow today where you are, and direct them to our Sensible Weather account portal where they create an account with us, and then they can choose how they'd like to receive those funds, either by PayPal or bank transfer. But there's no claims required. We essentially trigger the reimbursement based on the weather actuals. We also, again, present that weather guarantee based on data that we have at the time of booking. Next slide, please. So what's in it for resorts? The biggest and most tangible benefit to offering the weather guarantees, as Greg said, is to encourage those advanced bookings. So this product is not for the person with the season pass or the person who's, you know, looking at the weather forecast for 2 days from now and like, okay, I'm going to go. This is for those bookings where someone has the kids off of school for a week. They're going skiing that week. They have no idea what the weather is going to be doing, but they're booking hotels, they're booking ski tickets, they're making an effort to go there. So really giving them peace of mind and confidence to book that trip and go. To that end, we see across our partners a 5 to 19% increase in booking conversion, online booking conversion. So just by having the weather guarantee there, resorts are seeing increased bookings on their site. A 2% reduction in cancellations, as mentioned. It's not a cancellation for a cancelable for any reason product. It's a go on your trip product, and make the most of it. So we do see a reduction in cancellations, particularly due to weather. We also provide a revenue share. So 10% for every weather guarantee sold goes back to the resort. And again, this is no cost to the resort to activate. They just opt in, and then you start to see these tangible revenue benefits. And then lastly, improved guest satisfaction. You know, there's not a lot that resorts can do when the weather isn't great, but this is something that where we can put a smile on guest faces by giving them some money back. And then lastly, there's no cost, again, or operational impact. It's simply offered at checkout, and then Sensible handles the rest. We send a confirmation email at the time of booking. We communicate with the guest daily, letting them know their policy details and if it's what the weather conditions are. So no teams need to change anything about their existing operations.
Yeah, I think that is a fantastic and important point. It's not one more thing that the resort needs to worry about. It really is just something that shows up in the checkout, and I've got a screenshot here of roughly what it looks like in Inntopia checkout. But it shows up in the checkout, they select it or they don't. The relationship between the guest and this product is between the guest and Sensible Weather. It's not between you and the resort. The resort doesn't need to be trained on this. They can turn it on, and it's all handled by Sensible Weather. So a couple points just to clarify on this. This can be used in tandem with insurance. So Tara mentioned this is not insurance, it's a weather guarantee. So if you have traditional insurance in your checkout, you can have this as an additional option during checkout to give your guests a choice, or just have different things covered during their stay. So in terms of what you would need if you're running on your booking engine on Inntopia Commerce, you would need a Sensible Weather product ID to activate. Obviously, you would sign an agreement with them to get that ID. But once you have that ID, that's really all you need. We put that into the back end, we turn it on, and then these show up during checkout. And this is dynamic. It's based on the things in their cart. There's a way for them to see the details, to see the policies and the terms in line without leaving the page. and they'll be able to select that and add that to their cart and check out as they normally would ahead of time. So we did, with this sort of a product, there are a handful of questions. If folks listening have additional questions, drop them in to the questions panel. But we just wanted to run through a few of the common questions we've heard leading up to this webinar and kind of address those quickly. First one, Tara or Blair, what is in it for resorts? You mentioned some of the benefits earlier, rev share, but when you talk to resorts, what is the thing that is the biggest benefit for them?
Yeah, I think those advanced bookings and just getting those, getting those reservations on the books ahead of time. So consistently across people that are purchasing a weather guarantee, I think our average booking window is between 60 and 90 days. So it's not for short term. People are adding them for stays that are further out and locking those in. I think the biggest thing is it costs no money and you're getting 10% back on every weather guarantee plus the booking conversion. So it's really kind of something for nothing, and really a win-win. The guest is happy, everyone's making money.
Yeah,
I'll add to that. Quickly, I'll add to that. We have a case study on our website that we are happy to share around afterward with one of our partners, Valsini, and I think the biggest impact they saw is actually a 7 percentage point increase in advanced bookings. So we do also have data to back up kind of what anecdotally makes sense to people, which is guests are booking earlier when the weather guarantee is present. And we have that from other partners as well, but specifically in ski, we have that data point on a case study on our site that we can reference and share around to everyone as well.
That's awesome. I was going to mention too, sometimes there's a reluctance from resorts to add things to the checkout flow for fear of impacting conversion. And in this case, the opposite is true. Not only do you make more money from it to the rev share, but it also increases conversion. So yeah, for something like that doesn't cost anything, that's just a huge benefit. Excuse me. I'm going to jump in on these next two, and then anyone else can jump in and add any color. But when we talk about who these are designed for, and kind of that third question of what does bad weather mean? Wouldn't getting snow during a ski vacation be a good thing? And the answer is yes to some people, but not to all people. And I think this is a really important point. Resorts, ski resorts specifically, but also other types of resorts, sometimes think that their guests are like them, like they are hardcore skiers who are living for the powder days, and they have all the gear and all the things they need to have an incredible day, even if the weather is bad. And that's true of some people, but not all. And I would say in some cases, not most. And so what this allows folks to do is sort of self-select. If good weather to them, like it is to my wife and my mother, if good weather to them is blue sky and groomers with no clouds and no snow in the forecast, well, they can self-select and get a weather guarantee to ensure that if that doesn't happen, if they get the other type of weather, they're still going to have something in return for the maybe not bad experience, but the negative experience that they were not anticipating.
That's a really good point, Greg. And I'm in that camp too, where I know for a lot of, that's the number one question we get with ski partners is, wait, isn't snow good? And I will add to that as someone in the camp of I want blue skies, snow overnight is great, and then blue skies during the day. So the weather guarantee is, for the hours that you're on the mountain. So, there is kind of this like sweet spot scenario where, it's great, it's snowing overnight, but it's beautiful during the day. We've also developed this precipitation product in tandem with ski partners, where we've, heard that precipitation aligns with so many of the things that disrupt a ski day and also lead to unsafe conditions on the mountain, things like low visibility, high winds, lift closures, road closures, things that can prevent you getting to the mountain as well. So yeah, but yes, there also is that Goldilocks scenario where you have a weather guarantee and it's a beautiful powder day and you're getting like, just little snowflakes coming down and you're having an awesome day.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Fourth one, how long does it take to get set up? Like I mentioned earlier, it was designed. I'll first give credit to Sensible Weather for creating a platform that it really is plug and play. And so after we built the integration, we were able to design the integration so that all we need is that ID. And once we have that ID, we can add that to the system and turn it on and it shows up. So, from the Sensible Weather end, Tara, you can speak to how long it takes for someone to, sign an agreement, but from our side, it's very, very quick to get things started.
Yeah, we just have like a 2-page partnership agreement that outlines the revenue share portion and other details about the weather guarantee, but it's easy. And then we can spin up a product ID in a day. So it should be really seamless, really quick to try it out for the season.
Awesome. That last one, we touched on this as well, in terms of Sensible Weather handling support and communication with the guest. Tara, is there anything that the resort does need to be trained on or be ready for once they turn on weather guarantees, or is it pretty much a hands-off thing for them?
Hands off. I'd say all they need to know is that if someone calls up or approaches any staff with a question, to direct them to Sensible Weather. And customers who purchase a weather guarantee should be pretty aware of this. Like every email we send, it's like, call us, any issues, customer support. But I'd say, yeah, just we have a handout that they can share around that really is, okay, here's what a weather guarantee, but if anyone has any questions, you're not expected to answer anything about the weather guarantee, just to direct them to our 24/7 customer support team.
Gotcha. And I think it's, a guest service team is sometimes reluctant to say, I don't know, go over here, but that's, if we go back to those screenshots earlier, let me actually, it is, the relationship is with Sensible Weather from the very beginning. That is not a surprise to the guests. They know that is who they're agreeing with. And so the guest services team should not have any problem saying, oh yeah, you bought the Sensible Weather guarantee, yeah, reach out to them and they can help you with that, because that's the kind of foundation from the beginning. So I don't see any other questions that we haven't covered yet in the chat. So unless there's any last thoughts from the group, I think we can probably wrap it up. Any final thoughts, Tara, Blair?
I was just going to add to that last one, that if any resorts that are interested in activating, our team is available and we're happy to do any trainings with the guest services team just so they feel comfortable.
Cool, perfect. If you do have questions about anything we've talked about so far, like I mentioned, we're just trying to get to the kind of the meat of this integration and this partnership. There are certainly more details that we could have covered here that are specific to individual resort situations. So if you have any questions, reach out to Kim. Her email is the first email there, kleslie@inntopia.com, or tara@sensibleweather.com, and we'd be happy to get you any answers you're looking for, or further information, or a demo, or whatever we can help with.